We continue with section 8 in this third encounter. Just some very practical instruction in getting started. You know, really making progress in getting people saved, getting them reached with the gospel. It's totally a practical session, and it would be good to divide into small groups. Even if it's 2 or 3 of you, that's enough. And let's talk about what is an interest group. And it's very important to see that the people, as we have spoken about previously, that are easiest to reach are the people you have influence over. People in your family, people in your workplace, people who are your friends, people who maybe go to, the physical fitness class together with you. Wherever you do things with people, you have a relationship with them, and in that sense, an open door to influence them. So when putting together these groups, interest groups, we must realize that we should have like interest, and that we should work together to reach others who also have like interest. This concept refers to a group of people that share the same interests, share the same hobbies, same professional field, stay in the same area, maybe a neighborhood, work in the same building, share similar problems. You see, someone who has come out of being a drug addict and has been set free by the Lord, if he combines with 1 or 2 other people who have had the same experience, they would have a very effective ministry reaching people who are struggling with drug addiction, because they come from the same problem area. People who have the same needs. In other words, they have something in common, and there's an interest that binds them together. It's very important, because when you first reach out to these kind of people, you are going to build relationship with them because of the common interest that you have with them. Who are the people that we want to get into this kind of group or this kind of cell, whatever you might want to call it? These kind of cells can work well for any group of people, regardless of category of people involved. But in particularly, they will suit categories 3, 4, and 5, where you have got people who are difficult to reach with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Right. How do I then get started? Firstly, a group of people that share the same interest or hobby. These groups function best at the most with 3 strong Christians grouped together in a field of interest. They advertise their group meetings, the place, preferably personally invite 2 persons each that they know shares the same interest. Try not to have more than 9 people in such a group, because then it becomes a meeting instead of a group of people who share the same interests. Each one of these 3 leaders will then take responsibility for the 2 unbelievers that are with them. The group does not necessarily discuss anything religious or anything of Christianity, but focuses on the interest, the hobby or the sport or whatever else is drawing you together to meet together. After a period of maybe 10 weeks, you can then have a last meeting of your interest group together. And at that last meeting, you can then tell them and invite them, we're going to continue, but we're going to continue with a church cell meeting. Would you like to join us in that? Then they already realize, hey, there's a change here. We're not just an interest group anymore. There's Christianity that's being introduced here. But if they've already been enticed by what they see in your life, they'll be keen to to join that group. And then you haven't misrepresented the reason you got together. You got together for interest's sake, but you're bringing that to an end now, and you're now going to move into a Christian cell group. Would they like to become a part of that? So it's an opening way of building relationship with them. Secondly, care or support groups can go for an indefinite period and may have as many as 12 or 15 people in them. They'll also start with 2 or 3 strong Christians who see the same need or desire to help people. For example, people that share need to talk about their children's involvement in drugs. So you can get together and help these people and work with them. Finally, again, also telling them, we are now, we've ministered to you, we've helped you in this, but if you would like to join us in our home cell group, you are welcome to do so. Thirdly, home cells in the workplace. People that share the same professional interest or just work together in the same place and meet during lunch hours or before work or after work, or maybe even stay in a hostel around the work. These are very easy to reach if you will get together 2 or 3 Christians that are in the group and then begin to reach out to others in the very same way. It's such an effective way to reach people. The idea with all these people is eventually to get them to be born again and become members, active members in the church. But be patient. Work on it. Work in building relationships. It will lead to their salvation. These groups are bridge builders, taking them from a point of not even knowing Christians. See, most sinners don't even know Christians. And the reason for that is most Christians have separated themselves from the sinners and have become so kind of secluded in their own little church environment. So most sinners don't really know Christians. So you bridge in that gap, and that will ultimately lead to these people's salvation. Advertise your being together. Here are some very practical ways that you can do it. You can even put a community advert in a local newspaper. People interested in this hobby or that hobby, please call such and such a number. And in that way you can reach out to your local community, more preferably in a local community-based type of newspaper. You can use billboards at work. You can use local community-based radio stations. You can use posters and signs. You can use flyers in, your neighborhood's post box. Get a neighborhood interest group together. You can do it by word of mouth. You can do it by doing surveys. And using those surveys to gain the knowledge of which people have common interests with you. Maybe you can think of some more and original ways of reaching people. Identify the different needs in your area and in your life. Identify interests in your life that might be able to reach other people. Can you think of any other way that we can reach the lost? God can lead you to an original idea. The big thing is, let us together all make a difference. We have been commissioned by God to go into all the world. Let's not sit and do nothing. Let us make a difference.